This episode of the Nerd Corporation podcast may contain spoilers and explicit language. Listener discretion is advised. We are the Nerd Corporation.
What up, everybody? It's podcast day. My name is Eddie Lyon, and if there's anything that this Tennessee situation has taught me, it's that we can fire cops for just about anything.
Tennessee's the place where the girls, that girl,
Yeah.
the girl that's in the,
If there's anything it's taught me, it's that I'm in the wrong profession.
That's all it takes to get pussy these days.
Jeez.
And I saw this meme where it's like, anyone that's, bashing the woman for sleeping with all those cops have never worked in the restaurant industry. And I'm like, is that what goes on in the restaurant industry? Like, are waitresses just fucking everybody? Like,
Apparently the line cooks and the front end people.
Hey,
is anybody hiring?
They got a hard job, man. Just let them do what they need to do.
Right?
Have you seen that new show with the kid from Shameless?
Oh, the bear.
The Bear. Is it good?
Yeah.
Oh fuck, I kind of want to watch it.
He won a Golden Globe, didn't he?
Yeah. No,
Nice.
it's a good show.
Fuck yeah.
You should definitely watch it.
Oh yeah.
With me, as always, is Cole Simper.
I'm not a gynecologist, but I'll take a look.
Nick Lewis.
Was at the doctor the other day, and I was telling him that I couldn't get aroused sexually, and he said that was a really weird thing for me to say to him while he was cleaning my teeth.
And Angela Wooden.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Derek couldn't be with us. He has got a severe case of the mud butt. But we are the Nerd Corporation. Welcome to episode 175, the Nerdie Awards. This is a spin-off of our top 10 games of the year. We're going to just award different games, best narrative, best voiceover, things like that. So, before we get into that, though, we really only have one thing to talk about. The Last of Us.
Pretty immediate. We need to talk about it. Just barely got done watching it, like literally moments ago.
Yeah, I watched it yesterday as of the day of this recording. Boy, howdy.
Mm-hmm.
Way to fucking go. And I mean, we all had our reservations due to how much Pedro Pascal was hyping this up. And, but man, what an amazing...
I forgot about that. I forgot about his incessant talk, like his incessant praise. Yeah,
it's so good.
That I totally forgot about that, because that, man, what a fucking roller coaster of emotions. Because I was expecting to fucking hate it, like absolutely loathe it, because there's something very special about that game. We've obviously, ad nauseum, we've gone over this point about The Last of Us. It's a masterpiece, and very few people will challenge that, I am over the moon. I am really, really happy with how it looks. There's one thing that I kind of want to loop into, but the first thing is the immaculate casting. Holy fucking hell.
Yep.
Pedro Pascal is killing it. I mean, it's kind of hard to like say like, oh yeah, he's like fucking, he's a master actor. But at the same time, like, Joel is just a normal fucking dude. Like,
Yeah,
he's a
just
normal blue collar
Yep.
dude that has bills and is like, losing his hair because he's stressed out about shit. You know what I mean? Like, he's just a fucking dude with and I with how much this series or this episode specifically is just deep diving into like the little details that we never saw,
Yeah.
which I'm sure we'll get into. I loved that. But they still left that little detail of Joel's past life out. Like,
Yeah.
we still technically don't know Sarah's mother. I thought that they were definitely going to touch on that, but they didn't.
Yeah.
There might be something later
There
on.
could be.
Because the thing that I really enjoyed about this this first episode is there are some very minute tweaks and changes. Like, it's not a one for one shot of the game, which I appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
But it also shows us like the stuff leading up to what happened, because in the game,
It's that night.
you wake up as Sarah and all of a sudden shit's going wrong. But here it's like, okay, she went, it shows her, getting his watch fixed and
Yeah.
Which
all
I
this stuff.
really love.
Yeah.
It is like, it's those little details that they've kind of tweaked to be a little bit more believable. Like, one example is and I'm jumping ahead a little bit in terms of timeline of this episode, but it's,
Well, we're not doing like a review.
no. I'm just using an example
Yeah,
of like how they're using like little details to kind of enrich the story a little bit. Like I was talking about it with Angela. I was like, it's kind of a cool aspect that Joel has been in contact with Tommy this whole time. This is like this is something that's only happening in the show, where he, like, in the game, it's, in the very beginning, it's kind of open ended. Like, you don't really know what happened to Tommy.
Yeah,
it's almost kind of like Tommy's fucking dead.
Yeah.
Because 20 years is a long ass time.
Right.
And but I found that little detail was kind of cool, because it was like, oh, it's just like another reason to go.
Right.
Like, in video game land, all you really need is one objective, right?
Right.
Like, get Ellie to wherever we need to go, and then it slowly progresses into more and more shit, right?
Right.
Go more and more crazy scenarios.
Right.
But I think that, like, it's just like that little addition, basically, where it's like, it's really, really smart, clever little additions here and there, just to kind of make it a little bit more believable. I think Neil Druckmann had a lot to do with this.
Well, he helped write it.
Yeah, but I think he was there every day. I think he was fucking Johnny on the spot. He was like, hey, let's make sure this shit is exactly the way. Because, dude, I don't think I've ever seen an adaptation, and I know that this is like, these are the buzzwords on social media right now, that it's like, because everyone is fucking adoring it right now. But I am truly shocked on how much of a companion piece it is to the actual game. Like, there's one of my favorite things that, like, actually made my fucking jaw drop was the fake out when they're in the truck and they're driving and they're dodging all the people, and then what's supposed to happen? You're supposed to get hit by a truck.
Right. Yo, no,
That's originally what's supposed to happen, but instead they subvert your expectation, and Druckmann is a fucking master at this point now, because now he's transcended through video games and now he's into a different type of media. Like, I think that, and I'll get off my knees and stop blowing him here in a second, but like,
Oh no, by all means.
Yeah,
but
no.
I mean, dude, I think he's like Hideo Kojima, like, levels of fucking brilliant. Like, he's got it down, dude. Like, the biggest compliment I can give this show so far is that it felt exactly like those opening hours of The Last of Us.
It really did. No, like, it really
With
did.
surprises too, though, that kept it fresh, and it's God.
Still had that, like, gut punch and stuff. Like, I cried.
Oh my God, the dread, the build up to all this shit that's going on that was not in the fucking game whatsoever. And I know I'm talking a lot. I'm sorry. I promise other people are going to talk, but like, just the fucking build up of Sarah, like, waking up and walking through all these things. And it's like, that wasn't, it
made you care a lot more about Sarah.
well, it was in the game, but it wasn't to this degree, right? Like, like, when she walks in on the grandma chowing down on her daughter, and Angela looks at me, she's like, I'm sick to my fucking stomach.
I, was, dry heaving.
Like, because oh, man, what they did. And it's kind of hard you kind of have to take it out of the perspective of, like, they're zombies, because they're not fucking zombies.
No, this is the thing. Like, if you notice, it isn't feeding, it's infecting. She's not sucking out anything.
Yeah, because when she looks up, she's got
like
All the
little
fungus like
tendrils.
comes out of their
Yeah.
yeah.
So what she's doing is she's injecting them with the virus.
And that's another like tweak and change that I've seen people on the fence about online is it's not spores that's going to be
like these tendrils.
it's going to be these tendrils. Which
Oh man, I was fucking terrified when I saw
Yeah.
that. I gave it the G, right? I was very scared.
Right.
when I first saw her lift her head up, like I didn't realize that until you just said that just now, Eddie, because I thought that she had like a bunch of like fucking hair in her mouth.
No.
That's what I initially had thought as well, and that's like what was making me like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you specifically. Did you catch the 2 Resident Evil Easter eggs in this episode?
Fuck no.
The scene is, and this is me, it might be me just kind of reaching a little bit, but I was like, the fucking second I saw that they were doing that panning shot of the grandma, like leaning over the body, and like, I fucking thought that they were going to do the slow reveal,
slow
and they kind of did do that. So that's a point. I'm counting that, motherfucker.
Okay.
But when, the second part is, when the truck comes in and separates Tommy and Joel and Sarah. What was in my head? It was the beginning parts of Resident Evil 2 where the city's on fire and you get separated, like Leon and Claire both get separated by a truck.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, he could have drawn inspiration.
Bro, it has to be.
Another, I was going to mention the thing that I loved is I loved that like I said, it's not a 1-for-1 shot, but there's a lot of parts in this episode that were like pretty goddamn identical. Like when they're on the highway and they go, "Oh man, that's Jimmy's place." Like that's in the game. Like when they drive past.
I was
the
kind of
house.
bummed that he didn't say hope that poor or hope that son of a bitch got out or something. There's there were like little moments, and I know that this is just an autistic quirk of mine. Dude, there's so many parts of this game. It's just so wonderfully written that like a lot of these moments stick out so much. And so like there's an expectation when you're going into this, especially when it's sticking to the source material is
Right.
as close as it is.
Right.
It's just kind of nice, but at the same time it doesn't give you too much. And that was my original point. It was like it still does some of those little sayings like word for word, bar for bar, which is fucking great.
Yeah.
But it knows the restraint to say like, okay, we're our own thing. You know, I really dig it. There's a balance going on during this show, and they're fucking nailing it.
It does a lot to tug at the string it's supposed to while making it feel brand new.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate them for that. And I'm happy because I literally went into this like you, Cole. Like I went into this like going like they're gonna fuck it
I
up.
tried so hard to hate it.
Yeah, me too.
But every time I was like, oh man,
I honestly had no doubts.
yeah. Well,
No, I and even now, like after watching this episode, I'm cautiously optimistic because if all the other episodes are like this, cool. But what if this is the only episode that's like this?
And then it just like completely veers off.
Yeah.
So there were a few differences that I wanted to point out that were interesting.
Mhm.
So it begins in 2003.
the Bush era, baby.
If you remember, there's a picture of good old Bush.
I loved and just kind of like a side note from that as well. When they're in the car and they're in the truck and they're driving away from all the mayhem, right? They're driving away from the neighborhood. And she says, Sarah says, a terrorist attack.
Yeah, that's where I was going with it too.
Yeah.
Was, it's heavily, it's 2 years after 9/11. Terrorists are still on the brain.
It was very smart to do that, I think.
And then the 20-year later mark, it's 2023. That's the year that we are currently in. It's interesting for sure.
Well, it's the negative vision, right? Because that's the same exact thing, but just vice versa in the game,
Right.
the beginning takes place in 2013. 20 years later, it's 2033.
Yeah.
2013 was the year that the game came out.
Right.
It's when you start like piecing together those little things, love it.
The other thing I was gonna couple things I was gonna mention is going back to that 20 years later thing. It was funny because when the camera's like panning through Boston, where like Joel and everybody is working now, and you see the one guy standing outside smoking a cigarette, and he's wearing a Gore Lieberman shirt.
Oh,
that's great.
Fuck yeah.
I was like, yeah, man, that was like, that was way back before all this happened. So that's great.
Speaking about that scene too, the drug deal. Joel walks over to this Fedra agent and is selling him drugs. I like this. It's another great example of like little additions that really kind of. Joel was a fucked up person. Joel did some fucked up things.
Yeah.
And I think that you're really going to see that. I'm hoping that like, and especially like with part 2 recency bias, like they're setting something up, because they're talking about season 2. They're talking about adapting part 2.
Right.
Like
they're even talking like rumors about like part 3 for the game too. Like it's all.
So there's like some things that I think that they're going to have to adapt with in this version of the media, because in the game, you get all of these like little like clues and like world building within like pieces of notes that you find, or like you're looking around like the record store and you're reading like you're picking up like a ton by your surroundings because you're taking your time to do that. But you can't really do that in a show, right? You can't just like walk up to the to the watch shop,
Right.
So I think that they're going to be doing like a lot more like narrative world building that we like actually can see like visually. So I think that there's going to be like a lot of change in that.
That's
sense.
very exciting.
But
it's crazy. So the casting is like super interesting to me because like I was watching a little featurette that happens after the episode, and Meryl Dandridge, who plays Marlene, actually auditioned for Marlene in the game and didn't get the part.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and
dude, she's great.
She kills it. She kills it. She fucking kills it.
Kills it. Sarah Nico Parker, who is Sandy Newton's daughter.
Okay.
Was like, wow, you know what I mean? Like I love this cast. This cast is
you had
really...
some fucking shoes to fill.
Yeah. Oh
with,
yeah.
Like the teeny amount of time that we saw Sarah. I loved all the time that they dedicated to Sarah.
That kind of leads me into like, I'm in this this PlayStation 5 owners group and everyone's like talking about it or whatever, but it's like, I don't know, some of the shit that people post in there, I'm just like, I need to get out of here.
Oh, they're fucking it's just cancerous.
But everyone's like freaking out about, oh, Sarah's not a white girl, and I'm like, well, here's the thing, we don't know who Joel's wife was, so it's perfectly reasonable that she could have been a black chick, like
it could have been just anything.
So
and then of course they're everyone's making digs at fucking poor Bella Ramsey, and I'm like, dude, she fucking nailed it.
Yep.
So the fucking I'm so tired of talking about this. It's so fucking dumb. It's a dumb point.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, like, if we can just, like, put a nail in this and call it dead and never fucking talk about it again. Diversity has always been in Naughty Dog games. It has always been a tentpole of Naughty Dog's, like, whole fucking philosophy with developing games.
Right.
It has always been a thing. Neil Druckmann does not have a fucking... It's not propaganda to feel, like, we're not trying to make you fucking feel anything that you don't want to feel. We're just trying to tell a story. Diversity has always been a fucking thing. So of course, there was going to be some of that shit in this game too, or in this series, and it's everywhere. But guess what? It fucking makes sense, and it's not forced, and it's like it's good writing. Like there's reason behind everything. And going back to Bella Ramsey, yes, she fucking kills it. I do have my reservations on the look. I know I'm still kind of hung up on it. She just doesn't look like Ellie to me at all, which is weird, and it's fine. The second she kicks the plate away, I'm like, that's Ellie. Like,
Yeah.
she's got it. Like, immediately I knew that, like, which was also really weird, too, because it's like her and Pedro Pascal were very vocal about, hey, we didn't play the game. We don't see nothing, know nothing. And I'm like, so how did you nail Ellie so perfectly?
Right.
Like, it doesn't...
Even the way that she talks is
Well, I mean, like I'm
perfect.
sure they did their research. You know what I mean?
course,
Like,
of course.
they didn't play the game, but I'm sure they watched all of the gameplay. They watched, the cinematics and the cutscenes and things like that, just to get the ideas of who these people were.
Well, and not only that, but also, again, I think Druckmann has literally held everyone's hands through everything.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
hey, this is how it should be, and like, for example, the the Sarah scene, that kind of holds its own weight in this version, like, just because there are certain things that you can't. I mean, you can now, obviously, with the technology that we have, but like the little mannerisms and the twitchy nature of someone that just went through something fucking horribly traumatic.
Right.
And I don't know. I just was really like, talk about shoes to fill, like we were saying, like,
Yeah.
just nailed it. Absolutely fucking nailed it.
Absolutely.
There was one other scene I wanted to mention really quick too. Speaking of going back to like subverting your expectations, that scene where you first see Joel when it's 20 years later and he's working with the one woman and they're just like, just tossing corpses into the fire. And the new truck comes in and they open it up and she's like, it's a kid. And you look down and you're just like, oh shit.
That scene, by the way.
And then
the
he just
kid-
picks her up and tosses her in, because at first you're like, oh, is this how he's gonna like run into her? Like, is she gonna be like, I'm alive? No, he just fucking tosses her in the pile and you're just like, what?
Yeah, I was totally wrong about this, because after the 20 years, we cut to a shot of a kid walking through desolation.
Yeah.
That's the kid we're talking about.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my god, it's Ellie.
Yeah, it's exactly what I
actually
thought.
thought it was Ellie, and I was like, I was kind of confused. I was like, because it was 2023, and I was like, wait a minute, are they doing like some kind of weird like flashback to when Ellie got picked up, or like, I was totally wrong, and I'm glad I was wrong.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought too.
was
I was
very
like, oh,
strange.
this is a young Ellie?
Yeah, it was something like that, because like I couldn't really tell if it was a boy or a girl, and it seemed like it was Ellie, but I was wrong, and I'm glad I was wrong, because what they did was way better.
I think they did that on purpose, because when she opens up the truck and goes, it's a kid, and you look down and see the kid, she's got the sneakers on, the shirt that like something that Ellie would wear. And I'm like, I feel like they totally just did that to just fucking mess with you.
And shout out to the actress that plays that scene of when she's like doing the testing, like when she's like strapping the kid down to the chair.
Oh yeah.
And she's like,
This is so you don't
talk
fall.
about subtle details, man. Like, you really don't know what's going on, but like you see the like little flash of the tester screen and it's red, and it's like there's no dialogue to say. This is how you know that someone has some immaculate fucking penmanship behind this writing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because like there are so many little subtle things in that scene where it's like you can tell what's going on. It's fucking horribly sad, but my point is like, it feels like other shows these days would beat you over the fucking head of like, you're infected, kid, you gotta die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
Like,
I get it.
I don't know. It's, and like the way that she like, shout out to that actress specifically, because like her eyes did like most of the storytelling. Like her eyes are welling up and shit. Like, you're gonna be all right. We're gonna give you this shot, but then we're gonna get you your food, and it's like,
Get you whatever toy you want to play with.
well, I mean, that's like that. It's that desperation, fucked up nature of The Last of Us that is like almost, besides The Road by Cormac McCarthy, is like pretty exclusive to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like kind of hard to replicate. I don't know.
No, I get it.
I'm over the moon. I could talk about it for hours. It was so good.
Yeah. Now, first impressions, I'm definitely pleased But I'm still, like I said, cautiously optimistic. Let's hope the rest of the series stays this way.
I'm the same way, but I'm also just excited that like I have a show to look forward to every week now.
Same.
So the last thing that I'll say is that it reminds me a lot of Final Fantasy VII Remake. And I know that that's kind of weird. It's another video
is
game
weird.
stretch, but the way that they remade everything reminds me a lot of the way that FF7 was remade. Like, hey, this is
Oh, that
all the
makes sense.
story beats that you remember, but they're happening a little differently.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
dialogue
yeah,
is a
yeah.
little different. And so now it almost kind of feels the same. Like the ending of FF7 Remake was like, hey, now we don't know what's going to happen. You know, because we broke Destiny or whatever. You know, whatever the fucking message was of that game. I kind of feel the same way here, where it's like, you know, it's kind of exciting to not know exactly what's gonna happen.
Also,
Exactly.
what a fucking ending scene
Oh yeah,
to that episode too.
Oh, yeah.
With Depeche Mode playing.
fuck yeah.
I-
Well, Druckmann and his music, man.
Yeah.
So if you haven't watched it, go watch the first episode of The Last of Us. You will not be disappointed.
You kind of almost have if you're listening to this.
Yeah,
but
true.
We didn't like step by step.
Well, I
review
mean,
it, so.
God help you if you don't know what you're walking into. Can you imagine somebody that's never played the game? But
I
they
saw
watched
this
that first
article
episode?
from IGN that like I was like, okay, I get it because you know some people might be just watching this without having never played it, but at the same time, I'm like, come on. But it was like a familiar logo pops up in Boston.
Oh,
Here's what you
yeah.
need to know about the Fireflies, and it's just like,
Here begins the obnoxious fucking media cycle where, you know, now that we know that it's good, you know, it's going to be nothing but that for the next couple months. So get ready.
Before we get into the subject of the hour, if you're listening on YouTube, please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the little bell notification. We want to get into as many nerdy ears as possible, and that's how we do it. We have a Reddit, r/nerdcorp podcast. Tell us you love us. Tell us you hate us. Tell us we're great. Tell us we suck.
watch The Last of Us and talk about it on there with us.
Watch The Last of Us. Come talk to us. Cole is still undefeated.
Reigning champ.
So you might want to go dethrone him real quick. If you love us and want to support what we do, consider subscribing on Patreon. Patreon.com/nerdcorp podcast. Several tiers of loot to have access to, from stickers and shirts to extra content and bonus episodes. If you can't make a monthly contribution, consider supporting us on PayPal, paypal.me/nerdcorp podcast. We want to have the best loot, give you the best giveaways, and give you the best nerdy experience. And that is the best way to do that. So, without further ado, we welcome you to the Nerdie Awards. So it almost sounds like the Doug theme song.
Fuck Doug.
You shut your whore mouth.
Fuck. What is their name? Patty?
Patty
Patty
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise?
Fuck Patty.
You can't even say that with a straight face. You don't believe it.
Roger Klotz.
So we're going to go around the table and we're going to talk about the first Nerdie Award, which is the award for Best Narrative. Angela, start us off.
So this one is kind of a tough one for me. So most of the games that I played had really good narratives this year. Those of which being Pokemon Arceus, Pokemon Violet, Elden Ring, and Stray. Those were like my top 4. And I think I'm going to give it to Elden Ring just because of like how expansive it
That
is.
Miyazaki lore.
Yeah. Like there's just lore on top of lore, like everywhere you go. Like if you like read like the ashes, you know, like you learn about this.
Right.
Like one, for example, is the 2 jellyfish ashes that like
Was it brother and sister?
I think they were just sisters, and
Sisters.
you bring one to this graveyard, and it's like, oh wait, like you see these prompts, and you're like, wait, I've read this before, and
Yeah.
it's the same as in the ashes, and so you summon the ashes, the jellyfish ashes, and they go off and like go and see the stars together. You know, like it's just like crazy, like intertwined, like everywhere.
Right.
So that's why I gave Elden Ring.
Great choice. Really great choice. The bosses too. Like, man, you look into like the backstories and the lore on the bosses and everything, and it's like that's like kind of something that I mean everyone loves about the Dark Souls games too, is that like
Right.
just the epic fucking lore behind those bosses, and like
And
some of them
back-
feel.
Sorry, I didn't mean.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, back to the lore, like, unless you actively like go on like the Elden Ring wiki and read stuff, like the only way to experience the lore like is playing the game and looking into all these little hidden things. Because in an example of like back a good narrative, The Last of Us, like it kind of lays the groundwork for you, and you kind of know what's been going on and that sort of thing. But with like any Souls game, really, it's like, oh, this is something I didn't know that just came into my view that I wouldn't have found if I hadn't gone off on this little side quest.
Right. You really have to search for the story.
Well, or you could just watch the Vatya Vidya. Is that his name? Vat Vidya?
It's Vati.
Vati Vidya. Dude, great. I mean, I don't think you would care much for it, Eddie, but Nick, you should definitely check out that channel because it's just deep fucking dives into all of the Soulsborne lore. It's fucking rad.
All right.
Oh yeah. Cole?
So I'm kind of in the same boat. I really only played one game that the narrative stuck out to me, and it's Triangle Strategy by Square Enix.
I honestly thought you were going to give it to Signalis.
So I wanted to, but I'm gonna kiss that game's ass a lot today. Don't worry. I'm just really surprised. Like Square's still got it, man. They can still write these stories of like just these expansive places that with crazy world building and like all the different kingdoms and like the different traditions and everything. Like there's a heavy focus on religion in this game and like religious bigotry and prejudice and shit. Like it's really deep and dark and deals with a lot of like slavery and shit. Like there's some really dark shit in here. And it's on top of a fucking phenomenal video game. But I really like this game a lot. The story is fucking rad, but it's a lot too. Like it's, halfway through I had to turn it to Japanese because I just can't fucking stand the dialogue. Some newer stuff, and it happens in Square Enix games specifically. The English dub is just so fucking bad. It's just like. In even some of my beloved games, like FF7 Remake, kind of has some stunted, stifled fucking dialogue that's like, who the fuck wrote this? And it's like it's just a localization problem. Like it's a weird thing that happens in Japan that it really only resonates with Japan's audience. You know what I mean? Like the jokes or the weird tint, like the grunting and shit like that. And that's not in Triangle Strategy, but like just the verbose nature of the characters, they just constantly fucking talk about more and more shit. Can be a little overwhelming at times, considering like they're throwing like kingdom names and duke names and king name. You know what I mean? Like there's a whole bunch of shit. But if you're like a huge nerd for that kind of shit, like I am every once in a while, it's great.
Okay.
Eddie?
It was between, for me also, it was between Elden Ring, Stray, and God of War Ragnarok. God of War Ragnarok has such a cool and rich story, even like the side stories trying to reunite the two Hafkafa, and that was such a neat side story to tell. But I'm going to give the award to Stray.
Nice. Okay.
the narrative really stuck with me the most, I think, it's just this wonderful mesh of innocence and tension that says everything without saying a single word. You know,
Well said.
like it was just one of those things that tugged at every emotional string that I had from beginning to end, and there's like no more to say but that it was just that's what stuck with
Fuck
me.
yeah.
Nicholas?
Stray was also in my list just because it was like I mean, you Eddie basically touched on everything that you could say about Stray. But another contender that I have on my list, because I haven't played Ragnarok yet, so I'm sure that Ragnarok would be up there if I had actually played it.
Same boat. I
But
very played it very little.
yeah, I haven't played it at all, honestly.
I am
But,
up that game's ass right now.
Good. I'm glad someone is.
yeah.
I mean, of us.
One of us, yeah. But another contender that I was very pleasantly surprised with that I'll probably mention a few times tonight is Marvel Midnight Suns. And
Really?
that game it gets a little bit repetitive, but like once you get into like the story missions and the story, basically there's this Lilith has this son that has died, and that's who you become like in the game.
Okay.
And the Midnight Suns like bring you back to life so that you can fight her.
Okay.
And it's just like a mishmash of like you've got the Midnight Suns, so you've got like Magic, Nico, Ghost Rider, Blade, and it's not like the Ghost Rider that like we all know, it's like
Right.
What's his name? Reyes?
Yeah. Johnny Reyes?
I think it's Johnny, yeah. Johnny or Jimmy, I can't remember.
One of
but
them.
yeah.
One of the J names, yeah.
And then you've got you pick up more heroes along the way. Like I've run into Wolverine,
Okay.
who is fucking awesome in that game. I have Spider-Man joins up, Captain America, and it's like if you're on the Marvel dick like Eddie and myself are, then it's just it's a fantastic story and it's a fantastic game. And I'm like, I bought it at full price, which I kind of regret because I'm like, this doesn't feel like a $70 game, but I'm like enjoying it enough to where I'm like, I can justify this.
It's on sale for $40. Is it worth
It is right now. I would absolutely pay that for it.
Okay.
That's the XCOM people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. That's got to be a quality video game.
Oh,
Dude.
it is.
Do you like if we would have done top 10, you know what would have been in my top 3?
Huh.
Fucking Marvel Snap.
This is like if XCOM and Marvel Snap kind of had a baby.
Yeah.
Because you're playing with like decks of cards that you build, but it's movement and combat that's based off of like XCOM.
Bro, I am up
You are not the first person that I've
Dude,
I've
I am
heard a lot.
deep in the sphincter of fucking Marvel Snap, bro. Like,
Deep in the anals.
just right up. I play that game every day, at least 3 times a
Dude,
day.
I play it at work all the time.
Dude, I am fucking obsessed with that game. It's Hearthstone, Magic the Gathering, but Marvel.
Yeah.
And I would pay top dollar to have a physical.
It's a little
Marvel
bit
Snap.
different. Like you're not like in Magic, you're not directly attacking each other. You're like conquering. Excuse me. You're conquering like little areas that become available.
Right, yeah. So, but it's still what a fucking amazing game.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Fuck,
Happy for you.
go Marvel Mobile. Like, so the next category is best score / soundtrack. Angela?
So this one is another tough one for me. I really loved Elden Ring's soundtrack for a few minutes. And then I got really like bored and annoyed
How
with it.
Fucking dare you.
And I ended up just like playing like a playlist of like big bad boss battle music. Like, I cannot tell you how many times I had One Winged Angel just like on repeat. Like while I was battling Milena. Like, and in the what's that area called? The Rot, like the Lake of Rot area.
The Lake of Ra.
No, it starts with a Caelid.
Oh yeah.
So, and when I was in Caelid, I was just listening to Core from Toby Fox's Undertale, just on repeat. Like, I couldn't even tell you why. Like, but I got so sick of Elden Ring's soundtrack. But my, I really enjoyed Pokemon Legends Arceus's soundtrack. I did not like Pokemon Violet's because it is a direct rip of Pokemon Sword and Shield.
No way.
Are you serious?
Almost every single song is like
Wow.
it's just like slightly different except for the boss music, which is by Toby Fox. Or not the boss music, the raid music. Or the gym leader music. Which it's still good and great.
Right.
But it's very similar to Sword and Shield. It's I'll have to have you guys listen to them back to back because it's like really like just another thing to put like on top of this like
horrible game.
It's not a horrible game.
No, I'm actually enjoying it.
I've got like almost 300 hours into it now.
Wow.
Yeah. But there were just so many shortcuts that were made and it really upsets me. Anyways.
So you're Fallout 76ing it.
No, because Fallout 76 was a bad game.
22 million active players will tell you differently.
And it's still unfinished, and it's been out for how long?
Biggest Pokemon sales game will tell you differently.
I mean, it's apples and oranges, but like if you're really trying to compare Fallout to Pokemon, like it's... I understand where you're coming from, and they have come a long way. It's with her, it's more there's an addictive nature to these Pokemon games now with shiny collecting and shiny trading and all this shit. It's like
there's no trading involved, just like it's the hunting, and like you also like introduce
but
like
these people
breeding methods into it too. But anyways, back to the soundtrack and score. My game of the year for soundtrack and score is actually going to go to Stray.
Very nice.
I felt like that game is a lot, but if it didn't have the music, it would be less.
Yeah. No,
and
I agree.
I think that the music fits so well with the world and the vibe and the like just emotion and tension that's what's going on. And I think that the team at is it B12 Studios? I think that they did really well with like how they chose the soundtrack and the score to go along with that game. So yeah, I'm giving it to Stray.
Very nice. Cole?
best soundtrack goes to Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion, or whatever the fuck it is. It's some amalgamation.
Guard.
Remind.
So I'm sure I'll talk about that game in the next couple months, but fucking phenomenal. Like, just, oh man, so happy that that game exists now, like in modernity, because being stuck on the PSP was fucking really bad. But OST for this game is stellar. It's basically just Seven, it's Seven's soundtrack, but with, a little bit of rock flavor thrown in there, like early 2000s rock.
All
So,
right.
yeah, that's my best soundtrack.
Okay. My best soundtrack goes to God of War Ragnarok.
Of course.
Fucking wild. So my contenders were also Stray and Elden Ring. Even though I didn't finish Elden Ring, there is a very high respect for that game. Mm-hmm. But I do agree with Angela that after a little while that soundtrack does.
It's very redundant in like the boss, because you have to grind out like the bosses and stuff to like be able to beat them.
Right.
And so when you're hearing that same music over and over again, it's like, I need to listen to something else.
Yeah.
Right. No, and it doesn't and that doesn't take away from the validity of all of that music. Like it does not take away from the like just how it doesn't take away from how good it is. Like too much of any good thing is. But yeah, I had also given it to Stray and to Elden Ring, and this one was like my toughest choice, I think. But yeah, God of War Ragnarok, fucking Bear McCreary.
Bear McCreary, man.
Fucking Bear McCreary was on
He's
point
somebody
with.
to keep on the radar, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's got
Fucking,
talent.
it was.
Man, we can make fun of that theme a lot, but that theme is so fucking good, bro.
Iconic.
Oh
bro.
my god, it is so fucking perfect for Kratos.
It is great. I definitely. You're gonna hear more about God of War from me too, but
I need to play it.
you do. You really do. Like this game is immaculate.
Yeah.
Immaculate. And but yeah, that's my that's who I give the award to.
Nicholas.
Mine goes to I played this one on Game Pass, and it kind of surprised me that this one made my list because I don't normally play these types of games. But Metal Hellsinger is my best score.
Good choice.
Probably a little biased because, Metal Hellsinger. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
A lot of it is original songs, but they are featuring like very prominent metal musicians. For example, there's a song featuring Randy Blythe from Lamb of God. There's a band called Dark Tranquility that's the singer's featured on a lot. Let's see, Dark Tranquility. Serge Tankian is on a couple of these here.
That's pretty cool.
Dennis from, I don't know if you guys know who Refused is, but he's on here. We've got the vocalist from Arch Enemy.
Nice.
Matt Heafy from Trivium. So it's just like, it's original songs that the composer has made, but he's brought in all of these like amazing vocalists to really blast those songs out. And it's basically a I don't know what type of genre this is.
FPS.
It's like a, well, it's an FPS, but it's
But
like,
it's a rhythm game.
yeah, rhythm game. Like
It's like beats per minute.
Yeah.
Or bullets per minute. What was that game called? It's something like that.
yeah, BPM, bullets per minute. It's like a, your combo goes up if you're shooting and attacking like on the song.
Yeah.
And a lot of the reasons I don't play them is because it's like, okay, like I kind of just want to do my own thing. I just want to annihilate these enemies, but
That's the same problem I have with Roller Drum.
yeah,
It's like, this is fun as fuck to play, but like my ADHD can't allow me to like play it because it's fun. Like I need to play it obsessively to get the best score.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
and
yeah,
it
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like adds this like level of I don't like
Disdain.
well, not disdain, but like that's just like extra stress that I just don't want to. You know what I mean? Like if I'm not gonna get a fucking trophy out of it,
If the game
why-
isn't fun, what's the point?
That's right.
yeah. Like I had the same problem with what's that game on Switch? Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Yeah.
Like, it's a cool idea, but I'm just like, just let me go through this dungeon. Like, instead of, okay, I gotta walk, attack,
Walk, walk,
just
attack.
let me do my shit, man. Like,
Yeah, yeah. It's annoying. I see what you're saying.
but this game was really cool, so I gave it best score because of all the metal.
Hell yeah.
Our next award is for Best Voice Actor or Actress
Or best performance.
or Best Performance in a Game.
Yeah. So this one really sucks for me because every game except for Elden Ring that I played didn't have voice acting. So I'm gonna
Have to default.
so I'm gonna default a little bit, but I also the opening scene of Elden Ring, that guy that's like, the Elden Ring, and he's like naming off like the Dung Eater, all of that shit.
Yeah.
That is like performance of like the century for me. Okay, that guy deserves all of the parts.
He's
like
the flute guy.
Yeah, he's just great. But I did also want to shout out Christopher Judge.
Yeah.
While I didn't play God of War Ragnarok, I would like to give credit where credit is due, because I think that he's one of the best voice actors of our generation. I think that he's just an amazing person, and he's done really well with these games, and I'm going to cut myself off there because I don't want to match him in the longest speech. So
Nice. Very, very nice. Very nice.
Yo, wrap it up, B.
Wrap it up, B.
Yeah. Hey, 9 people got Steam Decks because of that speech, man. He should be proud.
I wasn't fucking one of them.
Cole?
So, kind of a cop-out, but because I didn't really play anything with great voice acting this year either, besides Elden Ring. Basically everything Angela said. But I'm going to give it to Ghost from Modern Warfare 2.
Very nice.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
What a bad motherfucker.
Very
One
nice.
of the best memes of 2022. Abso-fucking-lutely. Dude, he's cool as fuck in that game, too.
And the bromance.
Yeah,
the bromance, dude.
Dude. Oh, they fucking killed it. Like, and they knew that they had to with that character
Oh, yeah.
specifically.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, goes to Ghost. I don't know who the voice actor is. That's horrible. Like, I should give credit, but I don't know. You know who you are. You're probably swimming in fucking royalty checks anyways.
And pussy.
And pussy with that deep gravelly ass voice.
That guy fucks.
Oh, he fucks hard too.
He fucks.
He fucks like that one porn
Swimming in
star that's got the black arm. Do you know who I'm talking about? His name's like something gray.
no, the black alphabet leg. His name's Owen Gray.
Owen Gray, that's
Gray.
right.
He's
Yeah.
very popular with the ladies.
Well, he's a train.
Yeah. That guy.
That guy really. And there's
That guy
video
fucks
evidence
a
of it.
lot.
I'm so kind of insecure that you knew his fucking name.
Everybody knows who he is.
Yeah.
I have no idea who
He's
he is.
alphabet leg guy.
Yeah.
He has. Is it his leg or is it his arm? Because
leg.
I thought his arm, like he's got that blackout shit. Just look up Owen Gray.
Yeah.
I
He's big porn star.
I'm sure
guy.
you've scrolled past him. A few
Yeah.
times.
You've
He's kinda-
seen him. You've
he's
seen him
kinda one
in.
of those-
If only in passing, you've seen him.
He's not. What's the meme guy? The meme porn star.
Johnny Sins.
Johnny Sins. He's not Johnny Sins level, but he's
I've never seen this man.
really. You must be on a completely different wavelength of porn.
Yeah.
Eddie, what's your voiceover?
I'm going to give it to Christopher Judge.
Nice.
Seeing like from
I am hungry.
right, like, and I know that in the beginning it was old boy from Living Single who was doing Kratos.
And Star Trek too.
Yeah. But
Or not Star Trek. It was the other one. Sorry. Go ahead.
from the bloodlusted Spartan to the apathetic father to now the person that he is now, the concerned parental figure, the protective man. Like I've never seen Kratos more family oriented than I've seen him now in God of War Ragnarok. And to be able to make that transformation, to be able to go from the last game to now, it is a very beautiful evolution that I didn't know I needed Kratos to have.
I mean, talk about one of the least. Kratos did not deserve the redemption that he got. I know this is a little bit of a hot take.
No, he didn't though. Nobody
He
didn't.
fucking didn't. I mean, he's a horrible person. He's a horrible character too. I mean, just like in God of War 1, 2, 3 and Ascension, he's just in the PSP games. He's just was so one note, and like I can understand why some people like attach themselves to Kratos, but I never could, man. I was just like,
It's me.
yeah, it's just like it's so your son is returned. You know, it's
Yeah.
just like it's that all the time,
Right.
You know, and so like
The gods will pay what they did.
so it's like it has kind of like a Halo 1 through 3 vibe to it, where
Right.
it was like it didn't need to be anything more, but bringing Kratos back into, you know,
Humanity.
I mean, let's give it up here. We wouldn't have God of War 2018 or God of War Ragnarok if it wasn't for the fucking Last of Us. That's on fucking facts right there. You would not have half the games, I know, but God of War specifically, that like taking something as silly as a video game character and giving it like this gut-wrenching fucking story.
Right.
And a lot of what Santa Monica did with Kratos should be, I mean, their games they're fantastic system seller games.
Right.
But what they did with Kratos, you are 100% correct. It was like something that was crafted like it was a diamond in the rough.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. And Christopher Judge does an amazing job
Oh,
portraying
he's the
that.
dude. He's the dude for that position. 100%.
Absolutely. So, Christopher Judge. Nicholas?
Well, I couldn't think of anyone to give it to specifically. Like, obviously, you know, Christopher Judge has been killing it. I kind of went in a different direction and gave it to, like, I'm doing best cast. And that I am absolutely giving to Marvel Midnight Suns. They
Nice.
got
Very nice.
they brought out the big guns. So they kind of went with when you start the game, when you pick your hunter character, you customize him or her. There's a voice actress for the female, which is Elizabeth Grudon, I think. Grulon. Grullon. We got Matthew Mercer is the male hunter, who is
Nice.
Critical Role's DM, and he plays Cassidy on Overwatch and Overwatch 2.
Nice.
He's also the limo driver or getaway driver in Cyberpunk Edge Runners. He's also Yusuke in Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royale. What else?
Red 13.
He's also... Is he Levi?
No.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Hang on. I think he's Levi.
Revi.
Oh, Levi.
He is. Matthew Mercer plays Levi
Oh.
Ackerman.
Nice.
Yep. He plays a lot. He is like...
He's very prolific.
Yes.
Yeah, he's great.
He's a big guy.
As Blade, we have Michael Jai White.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very nice.
he's awesome. And reprising Spider-Man in this game is Yuri Lowenthal.
No way.
Yeah,
That's fucking
so
dope.
it's the Spider-Man.
Very cool.
I might have to cop that.
Playing Magic is none other than Laura Bailey.
Nice.
Cool.
Another one that's in everything.
Yep. Wolverine is voiced by Steve Bloom,
Fuck.
which
Wow.
is
Yeah.
perfect. Absolutely perfect.
That's cloud.
Darren DePaul plays Ghost Rider, so not, Jimmy or Johnny Reyes, but like when he's Ghost Rider,
Right.
who's he's most known for Reinhardt in Overwatch.
Okay.
We've got another Overwatch alum / big voice actor, Fred Tatasciore, plays the Hulk.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah. Jennifer Hale is Lilith, who's like the main villainess.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I don't know if there's any other big names here. Oh, except for Nolan North is Wade Wilson.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Deadpool's supposed to be a part of the season pass, so he's like, as far as I know, he's not in the game right now. But
Right.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Stacked cast.
Cop that shit, dude.
Might have to.
But no, Matthew Mercer is fantastic in this game. So if I had to give it to anybody, I would probably give it to him. But
Oh yeah.
Very cool. Our next award is for Best Art Direction. Angela?
So this is another tough one. But not as tough as the other categories, I think, because all of the games that I played were 720p, 1080p, like sub 30 frames per second, except for, I mean, Stray, I believe, stuck.
Stray was at 60.
It was at 60. Not like the best art
Elden Ring
direction,
was at 60.
but it was good. It was I would give Stray second for this one. But I gotta give it to Elden Ring. There's nothing ugly in that game, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like there's like disgusting characters and stuff, and like sickly like landscapes, like just like like dead, dying, decrepit. But it's not ugly. Like
No.
it's really pretty, and it's one of those games that like you don't have to like worry about like it being all muddy and stuff,
Right.
and like just hating it because it like
It's
could be
visually
better.
distinct too.
Yeah.
Like, it's like
when you see that tree for the first time from like anywhere in the fucking game, because it's massive.
it's visually distinct areas everywhere. Like it's quite a feat. It's like
Yeah.
there is
But like
place after place after place that is so interesting and different from the last that you
But
saw.
like not just like the landscapes, but like the architecture and the
weapons.
character design and the weapons and the equipment that you can put on. Like I think all of it looks great.
all the fashion.
Yeah, like yeah, fashion souls. Seriously though, but yeah, that I'm giving Elden
Good
Ring
choice.
my best art direction.
Good
award.
choice.
Sweep.
Cole?
So, I'm gonna try and make this as brief as I can. Best art direction is going to Callisto Protocol. Callisto Protocol, man, got a bad fucking rap, and it's so sad. That game is almost there. It is so fucking close to being a fucking awesome video game, but there's a lot of shortcomings, and I'm gonna get into them later. But
Yeah.
the way people have treated that game is disgusting. Like, and when the NPD cells came out and it didn't even chart in the top 10, I'm fucking so bummed about that, dude. That is not a good sign, like, really at all. And dude, this is to put it simply, a sequel to this game would be fucking awesome, because they would learn from all the shit. I mean, in an ideal world, which, it's Glenn fucking Schofield. The guy can take a punch and he can take criticism too. So I would imagine that he's taken all of this in stride, but I just don't think that like the funding is going to be there, because it's technically considered a flop. Man, this game fucking sings. It is got some of the prettiest areas, and it's very linear, but it does it to its justice. It uses it as a pro because of the art direction and because of the areas that you're in, and like it's the Callisto moon of Jupiter, right? There's a prison settlement on there and on the moon, and that's where it all takes place. And the grotesque nature of everything that's happening there is fucking rad. And like, it's like the artist went fucking sicko mode on some of these fucking areas. They're just crazy. And you can get Callisto Protocol right now for $40, and that is a fucking really good deal for that game. Please play it. It is so good. It has fucking problems. It's not great, but it's like the most perfect good game.
I did buy it on Steam
Yeah.
for $40, and I
Returned it?
did because
no.
it was for me.
It's still bad on PC.
Oh, it's not great.
Oh
like
my
okay,
God.
for the first 30 minutes, when you're going through the cargo hold and what are they called, the people aboard the ship?
Oh, I don't know. The
Some way-
faction,
Yeah.
the weird rebel faction.
Yeah, with the chick from the boys. You know, what's her name? Karen, whatever. She's
Kiko?
Kiriko. She plays Kiriko on the boys, but
Yeah, I can't remember. I don't know.
yeah.
I'm not.
So
gonna
like for
butcher
the
it.
first
Kimiko?
Kimiko, yeah, sorry. So for the first like bit, I was blown away. I was like, okay, because I had read. I'm like, oh look, there's been goddamn 3 patches in the month of December. Like, that's a good thing,
Yeah.
right? So I get it. I'm playing it. I'm like, okay, this is great. You know, run into my first enemy. You know, get to that part where you're sneaking around the security droid, right?
Yeah.
And it just fucking drops. Like I'm dying because the frame rate has dropped so low, and I'm just like,
That's crazy because I had no performance issues on the PS5.
see,
It is a
and I'm
completely different
I'm
game.
thinking of just getting that because I want to play this game. But
I would do it.
is it on sale on PlayStation or just
I would
PC?
imagine that it is. If it's not, physical is $40 everywhere right now.
Okay.
So it's, yeah, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
We're almost 2 months out from launch. That's just unacceptable. Like, dude, it was really bad on launch. On PC, it was fucking unplayable. Like anywhere between 10 to 15 frames.
Dude, and yeah, like I said, the first like half an hour, I was in awe. I was like, this is great. Like I'm pausing, I'm going into photo mode. I'm looking at the stubble on Josh Duhamel's face, just going, holy shit.
Yeah. I was kind of rough on him in the beginning, but he kind of grew on me a little bit as it goes on. I don't know if he knows what he signed up for because he dies in some of the most grotesque fucking
I
ways.
have seen some of that. I got my head stomped in.
Oh yeah, that's a classic. Yeah, that'll happen about 30,000 times.
So I want to play this game. I just wanted it to be fixed for PC, but it's not. At least not for me.
I'm
and
glad
for
you
many
said
others.
something because I have been wanting to play it again, and I was gonna buy it on Steam.
Yeah.
But now I'm not going to.
And especially for those of us that have like, shelled out to get like the 30 series cards, and
Unacceptable.
the recommended card for this game is a 1080.
Yeah, it's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's something wrong with the core of the game because, like, those frames, like, if you watch the Digital Foundry video that they did on it, it's like it's the same thing with. It's not the same thing, but it's in the same range of like what's going on with Pokemon. It's like it's almost like it's CPU based.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
they're overloading the CPU, and so it's not. That's why it's having such a hard time with frames.
And the weird thing is, like, if my frames drop when I'm, just fighting a simple enemy, like I got to the guy that comes at you that's like on fire.
Yeah.
And like I was stuttering so bad that like I would try and dodge and just not be able to. And then the game would reload and be perfectly fine until I got to that enemy.
Yeah, that's just it's just
Yeah.
If you find it on PlayStation, please play it on PlayStation. It's great.
I'm gonna go out and look for it.
And if you do a platinum, the collectibles are bugged really badly.
Oh, good.
Like way too bad to have passed QA. Let's just say that. But yeah, that's
Crafton, come on.
Yeah, I mean that's my little soapbox for that game. You're gonna hear me talk about it a little bit more because it's almost there, but it's just not. So
There you go. My best art direction does go to Stray. I respect Elden Ring for all that it is, but I never finished that game, and so had I finished it, maybe it would have gotten it for me. I do appreciate the shit out of everything that game has put out. Like,
bro, it's gotten its shine. You don't gotta. Yeah, we know.
Those that know me and my gaming style, you know that dystopia is my jam. Post-apocalyptic anything.
What happens after the fall of society?
I that's just my jam. Like that's something that's always caught my eye. It's something I'll always gravitate towards. And for me, this is such a refreshing take on a world beyond humans. From the designs of the robots to the like overgrown scenery of of this world, it was really very exciting for me and very beautiful in that sense.
Titillating.
Yeah, and the fact that you get to see it from this cat's point of view, like
This innocent point of view.
right, and
Like at ground level. Too.
exactly, and that's exactly where I was going with that. Was I'm not looking directly at this world. I am looking up at this world, and it is that much more awe-striking to see.
Yeah.
And to just kind of sit, because I like while playing the game, I would just sit and I'd observe everything. I'd slowly pan the camera and just kind of look at everything, the neon signs, and everything was very
Did you platinum it?
I haven't yet. No.
I dropped it because because I don't think that you can finish it. I think the trophy is under 2 hours.
It's an obnoxious ass platinum.
Yeah.
It is. But it was very like Blade Runner. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it has a very Blade Runner with the neon signs and the dirty kitchens and the
It's kitty cyberpunk.
The
you know,
China-
it's
The Chinese food places.
yeah. Like everything about it it was very, to me, it was a combination of like Blade Runner and Demolition Man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I see what you're saying.
I loved it.
No, I agree with you for sure. There was actually a point when we were playing that game that Cole was like, Elden Ring's got like a contender, this is game of the year.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no, there were a couple of times where I would like go up to a kitchen, and I would replay that scene in Demolition Man. Like, what's this made out of? It's the carne de rata. This is a rat burger. This is a rat burger. But yeah,
Hell yeah.
Stray gets my award for best art direction. Nick?
Well, I do have to touch on Elden Ring a bit because one of my I hated going down to the riverbed, but when you are down there and like looking up at the stars or the stars because you're technically underground, but
Necron.
yeah, that shit was pretty as fuck. Like just stopping, looking around, and
It's got like an Aurora Borealis vibe.
Yeah,
Like you're underground and like,
Surreal.
Yeah.
Ethereal.
yeah.
But I wanted to give the main award to Neon White. That game is very, very good looking. I bought it on PC.
Yeah, it's
Shortly
got a
after it
unique
came out.
style, man.
Yeah. Steve Bloom back at it again. He's the voice of the main character. Basically, everyone is up in heaven as like demon fighters, It's like they send you on these missions and you all have these code names. Like he's white, there's I think purple, yellow, and then green, and like they're all competing for the best like scores so that they can, I think, either go to like the best place in heaven, or they might actually get like sent back to Earth. But
This game's been calling my name for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know why. You're playing it on PC?
yeah.
Good. On PC. Good performance, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just it's not like your typical, game. It's like, you run out, you pick up a card that gives you a certain ability, you do that. It's like a speedrunner's wet dream is what this game is.
Okay.
And I'm not really a speedrunner, but when you're in the cutscenes and it's just like kind of like, Persona style visuals where it's the character and their dialogue down there.
Big ass portrait.
It's just very crisp, and all of the characters look really, really fucking cool.
Hell yeah.
The levels are really fun, and I just think this game is very, very eye-catching.
Hell yeah.
So our next award goes to best gaming moment. Angela?
So this category is like kind of like a mix mash meshy, like everything else that we didn't really touch upon, I guess. So I have a few. a really great gaming moment for me was when I was playing Pokemon Legends Arceus, and you learn, like, because the game is set back like after so many years, and you, as you're getting to know like all of these characters, it shows you like who their like relatives are, because that's who like their characters are based off of,
Right.
and people who are villains in like the future versions of them, you know, like they're actually like good people in the past, or the people that were good in the older games that are more present day are now the villains in the past, you know, like it's very, you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't see that one coming, like they're such a good person in the, oh no, they're a bad person in the future games, like, you know, and then shiny hunting was like very like pog pop off moments.
Nice.
And another big gaming moment for me was seeing the trailer for The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I'm really, really excited about that game. It's probably the game that I look most forward to this year. If we do see it this year, we'll see. Because with,
we'll see it this year,
well,
for sure.
with the way that the Switch has aged, I wonder. But
Yeah, see it like in its full form,
Yeah.
like in its best glory.
and then another like huge gaming moment for me was beating Melania in Elden Ring, and lastly, a really fun gaming moment for me was sitting down and playing a few games with Cole, one of which was Madison. Just we had just started playing like scary games with each other, just like Cole would have the controller and I would like help with like the collectible guide and stuff, and but like, and now we're doing Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, and like, yeah, so just like little things like that is like a big
Nice.
gaming moment for me. But yeah, so those are my gaming moments of
Good
the year.
picks. Good picks.
Cole?
My gaming moment is kind of just the amalgamation, the current state of indie games, indie development. Roller Drome, Vampire Survivor, Shredder's Revenge, Stray, Neon White, Cult of the Lamb. So there's a bunch, man.
Yeah.
Signalis, my game of the year,
The
is
resurgence of...
I mean, just an absolute fucking killer showing of indie titles this
Very
year.
nice.
And I'm so fucking excited. And I don't get into it with when I talk about Signalis, but it is the future is fucking bright, dude. If we have indie devs bringing this quality of heat, oh fuck, we're okay. Because if you're disappointed with the AAA shit like I am, you know, it's so nice to have that safety net of like, yo, there's so many people making games now, and they're making crazy shit, dude. It's all good. Like,
Very
you know
nice.
what I mean?
Very nice.
And if it's not good now, it's gonna be good in like a couple months when patches go through and shit. It's an exciting time.
Very nice. I have two gaming moments that are for me at the forefront. My very first is my entire experience with Gotham Knights. I still to this day champion that game.
Yeah, you were our soldier on the front lines for that one, man.
Yeah,
I've been enjoying that game too, actually.
not a perfect game in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But an amazing love letter to any kind of Batman lore.
I was kind of surprised that you didn't give that the best narrative to that, because you were pretty over the moon.
I was very over the moon, and that was definitely a pick.
Yeah.
But I had to give credit where credit was due.
Yeah.
But my gaming moment was experiencing that game as a whole, and being able to talk about it.
Yeah.
My other one was my WWE platinum.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
that's
Such a triumphant moment.
Oh man. Like I'll go look at it every once in a while.
Yeah,
Like
I know that feeling.
I mean, they
bro.
call them trophies for a reason.
yeah. Like that game was such a labor of love, more labor than love, but when I got that platinum, I was like, it felt better than getting the Mortal Kombat platinum. But
Good.
Another one of my favorite moments, it really wasn't like a gaming moment, but the 2022 Game Awards.
Oh, Bill Clinton.
Oh, Bill Clinton. That guy's
That's a gaming moment.
yeah.
Wearing a pair of Yeezy 500 high tops.
That
man.
guy is everywhere.
Oh, he's big popping now, dog.
How many books did you read?
Dude, and he's just taking the piss.
Yeah.
That's really like that one that I sent you of him talking to Sneeko.
Yeah.
Oh my, he can't even keep
Name
his
one
fucking
book.
face.
Yeah.
straight.
You named Game of Thrones. That is a series. That is not a book.
That is not a. What is the book name? His affect
Yeah.
is.
I don't think that we talked about it at all on the podcast, but our chat like blew up.
Yeah.
That live stream. We were like, what was that? And we were like, did he walk up with it? And we
Yeah.
found it. We were like, he did. He just.
I was watching it with Eddie on Discord, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Wait, Bill Clinton? What?
Like, wait, who is
Bro.
this kid?
Well, no. If that kid had malicious intent, we would have lost one of the greatest minds in all of the entire video game industry. Like,
Yeah, oh yeah.
He was inches away from him. That's fucking horrifying. And what a bad fucking set, right?
Yeah.
Miyazaki's coming in here. He comes to America to accept a fucking award just to get treated like shit like that. Like, it's
Yeah.
not very funny. Like,
There were a lot of good memes that came out of
it's
it.
very funny. I find the whole situation very hysterical. Really, it's just like the absurdity of the world is
That one
Yeah.
where it's like
bleeding into everything.
Miyazaki looking at this kid trying to test out the new blade balance patch.
It was just like the disrespect of it. And like normally I'd be like, who gives a fuck? But it's like, this is the guy, man.
Yeah.
This is one of the greatest minds.
He should have interrupted what's his name's speech. Maybe
Yeah,
a little
Christopher
bit shorter.
Just an artistic fucking genius that has created
Absolutely.
bang after banger after banger after banger. You know,
Which, by the way, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Jeff Keighley lied. That kid did not get arrested.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
he was like escorted away.
Yeah.
Keely had a moment of weakness, I think, because I think he got so
He
pissed.
was mad.
He
Yeah,
got
oh,
so
yeah.
pissed in the
Because he
moment.
works hard on it. This is his thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this was a good show. I really enjoyed this year's Game Awards.
Me too.
I thought it was a great show, great pace. You know, they could definitely tone down the theatricalness of it and like spend a little bit more time like to
Nah.
the awards.
I love
Yeah.
the Muppets. I love the orchestra.
Well, no.
I love all that
Flute
shit.
You
guy.
can still have all that, but just
Flute guy.
like pay attention to like don't give away 5 awards really fast.
Yeah,
like
no,
on
no,
a fucking
transition.
transition.
Yeah, no,
slide.
I agree.
like
I think
that's fucked up.
yeah, no, I agree that they should give like stage time to each award for sure. Like for streamer of the year, Ludwig got his award, but they didn't like they just were like, "Oh yeah, and Ludwig won."
He was there too.
yeah.
Like he was
And-
ready
and
to
he's-
accept it.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, I
Like that would have been really fucking cool for
Yeah.
him to walk up there. Like that would have been a big moment, dude.
Yeah.
But it's like, nah.
He deserves that award for sure, but he also deserved to like get a recognition for
And
it.
I'm glad I was wrong. I'm glad that they didn't go with the fucking sympathy pity vote for fucking whatever his name was, Nabil.
Nabillion, yeah. But yeah, those are my moments. Nick?
My moments are, I know we just mentioned him, but fucking flute guy
Flute
from
guy.
Game Awards. That guy
Big
popped
dick
off.
on that guy.
Popped off. He probably fucks now for sure.
He's got bitches braiding his
Yeah.
hair.
well, and well, Jeff Keighley commented about him, and he's been in the orchestra before, and he's gonna be in the orchestra like in future
Yes.
stuff too. So he's like, yeah, no, flute guy fucks, that's for sure.
Flute flute guy fucks with the skin flute. For sure.
Hashtag FGF. Flute guy fucks.
But he plays like everything. He plays like the oboe and the French
Oh yeah, he
horn
was like he had like a box of instruments next to him.
Yeah.
And he was just pulling them out and
What a fucking gangster.
yeah,
dude.
dude.
At the end, he's like, yeah.
Yeah, he's
he's
doing
like,
like the horns,
yeah.
throwing up the horns, dude.
Yeah.
Flute guy was on there. One of my moments was when Armored Core 6 got announced. Like that was a huge
Yeah.
announcement.
Oh yeah.
What was the last game was like
2012, I think, or
yeah.
10. It
Yeah.
was on PS3.
And this is not like a Souls game either. Like
No.
these games are like just
Completely
straight up
different.
mech combat. But
And this is gonna be the exact same too.
Yeah,
Zaki's
and
out
I'm-
here like it's not a Souls game.
yeah,
people. There's
I
no
am
lock on.
So excited for that game because those are games that like I grew up playing like with people,
Right.
with friends and stuff like that. So when they dropped that announcement, I was like, "Oh my fucking god!"
Those games are dope, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, the announcement for that, it was kind of a bait and switch, but like I'm still excited for it nonetheless. But just seeing FromSoft on that screen, I'm just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh!
Great fucking trailer with that dystopian fucking sci-fi soundtrack.
Boner.
Wow.
dude. And when it came up and I saw all that, I was like, "Oh, dude, this looks like an Armored Core game." And then I was like, "No."
Yeah.
Yet another casualty of the NVIDIA leak, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the prophecy has been foretold, my friends. We're getting an FF7 remake, or not FF7, FF9 remake.
Yep.
We're getting a FF Tactics remake. Oh, bro, strap in, bitch.
Dude, I almost bought that Ogre Tactics game because it looks like FF Tactics, and I wanted to Ogre Tactics Reborn.
It gets a thumbs up. It's
Yeah?
great. I'm waiting to get it because of I want to know what's going on with Tactics,
Yeah.
and I kind of want to get it on sale too. So
Because if they drop a Tactics game on the Switch, I am going to be the hardest I've ever been.
Tactics Ogre came out on Switch, right?
Well, I mean like FF Tactics Reborn.
Yeah, I know. I'm just
Yeah.
saying,
But
like,
I think
they
it did,
it
yeah.
with Tactics Ogre, so
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh my god, though, like 9 Remake is going to make me just explode from every orifice of my body. Like, I've been wanting a remake of that game since the 7 got announced, but so those are all great moments, but I feel like the moment I'm going to nominate has to go to Let Me Solo Her. That
Yeah.
was
Hell yeah.
probably the greatest thing ever. 2,000 confirmed kills now, is it?
something like that.
Something like that. To the point where he got the Elden Ring press kit sent to
Yeah.
him with the actual fucking sword.
Yeah.
And I saw
Well, and they sent him like a sculpture or something
Yeah.
of him too. They were like, yeah, no, we really like.
they
what
were
you did
they
for the
like drew
community."
him on
Yeah.
on like the
I
card
mean,
and everything.
he is Elden Ring lore.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Oh
no,
yeah.
he is.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
But I found this channel that this guy does unboxings, and he like, if you're into like ASMR, like this is what you need to watch, because like I watch this guy with headphones on. He wears like white gloves, and, like he'll bring the box out and he'll be like,
Oh, I know this guy.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
fantastic. And he did a
He has
unboxing.
like super limited edition consoles
Yeah.
and shit that he does it with.
He did
like
it-
motherfuckers pulling out like
yeah.
like the Modern Warfare 2 360
Oh,
like in
Jesus.
mint condition and like it's a
He
cool ass.
he did an unboxing of the Elden Ring press kit.
Yeah.
And he like took the sword, like he doesn't show his face obviously
ever.
for the video purposes, but he like took the sword out into like these woods, like I'm assuming behind his house, and he was just like sticking it in the snow, and part of me was like,
Yeah.
but at the same time I was like, oh my god, dude, I would love just to hold that,
Yeah.
But that's got to go to my moment. I never experienced him because I was playing Elden Ring on PS5, so
Yeah.
I never got to run into him. But a lot of great let me's spawned from him, and I think Angela was talking about the let me solo me.
Yeah,
he
yeah,
just
like the
kills
guy
himself.
that just he does the blood damage.
Yeah.
Himself.
Yeah, he because there's an element in the game where you have blood damage, but you like lower your health bar to strengthen your like damage, and he just
He just kills himself. That's so great.
oh man. Yeah, yeah. Let me solo her is a great piece of lore, and yeah, just being able to like be
And
a part of that.
I started playing it on PC in the hopes that I would get to her and just run into him, like, because I'm sure he's still out there doing his thing.
I don't think so. I think
don't
he got
think?
sick of it. Yeah.
Well,
I'm sure he makes appearances every once in a
Yeah.
while.
Right. All right. 2 more awards to go. And this award is biggest letdown. Angela?
This is kind of a tough one because so my biggest letdown I think is going to be Pokemon Violet.
Yeah.
Just because I mean, there hasn't been like a perfect Pokemon game in a while, but this one, it barely runs, but
Yeah.
when it does,
It fucking limps, dude.
yeah, but when it does, it's really, really fun. I think that they've introduced some really good new mechanics. They've also kept some really good mechanics. The story is really, really, really good.
Yeah.
But they're, just like the way that it runs and like it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Like
So this is your Gotham Knights more than it is your Fallout 76.
Yeah, that's a good, yeah. you're
like
right.
I shouldn't be worried about like when I'm shiny hunting or I've almost like defeated like a boss battle and my console hard crashes.
Ugh.
Yeah. Like that shouldn't be a thing.
Right.
And I think that it's not just a Pokemon thing. I think it's also a Switch thing because that the Switch is
Old.
the chip that's in
Getting
the
up there,
Switch.
man.
It's 7 or 8 years old now, and there's been like a lot of speculation about like whether this game would run better if it had this or if it had this. I think we saw it like on an emulator on the PC, and it was
The Ryujin emulator on like a very like a PC with middling specs. It
yeah,
wasn't great.
and like it's just for the most part just been discovered that it's most likely a CPU issue. Like it runs perfectly, and it's beautiful too. Like, and it can run at 60 frames per second. But yeah, it's so immersion breaking to see the game just break when you're doing that. And the music too. I mentioned it earlier, but the few Toby Fox tracks that are like the big like hype moments, even those are like kind of copy and paste, but like the rest of it is, and these games all are copy and paste. They all have had the very similar formulas for as long as they've been around. But like to be like in one area and then another, and it's the same music, and then it's like I've heard this music before, and it's the exact same music from Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
It just feels really lazy, and I wish that whoever is in charge, whether it's Game Freak or Nintendo or the marketing people, would just let them like take their time to make good games, Right. And I think that it's an industry issue as a whole, but yeah, so that's why I give Pokemon Violet and Scarlet my biggest letdown of 2022.
The only issues I've had with that game is just stuff that's in the distance not running smoothly.
So, since playing, there has been an update. So when I very first started, it was when it was the worst.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was almost completely done with the story at that point. So, yeah. Like, now I know that there's less hard crashes.
See, I have never had a hard crash playing that game, and I've maybe gone through like 2 or 3 gyms, and I usually do like I do gym and then I'll do a base if it's nearby, and I'll like go back and forth. So I've gone through like 2 or 3 of each. I haven't never had a hard crash. It's just that like if I'm like when you're going up that hill and there's the windmills that you can go up to.
Yeah, you see
They're
them
just
moving
kinda
at
like-
like 2 frames per second.
Yeah, that's really the only issues that I've ever had. So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I lucked out.
Are you playing on your TV?
Yeah.
Probably why.
Oh, okay. That
Yeah.
might make a difference, but
Yeah, on the Switch itself, it's pretty bad. But before pre-update, I think I had like 12 hard crashes, and after I think I've had like 3 or 4. You know, and it's only been out since mid-November.
yeah.
So, but yeah,
Cole?
343.
Yep. Yep.
damn, we're really going back here, huh?
I mean, I've said enough about 343, but I mean, it's so fucking sad, and it's so gut-wrenchingly disappointing on how great that game is and how fun it is to play, and the sandbox that they've created with those weapons and the vehicles and the maps, and everything just works as well as it does, and it's just fucking dead. There's just there's no hype behind Halo anymore. It's not fun to play anymore.
Nope.
The new maps they're not good enough. Like, there's not enough of them. There's not nearly enough fucking, like, not only is there not any quality content, there's very little content to begin with. And, like, shady ass fucking cosmetics prices on the store, even though you did lower them, you just raised them right back up again. Like 2 months later when everyone forgot.
God damn it.
It's speechless. It's just like how to fucking kill your franchise 101.
Yep.
And it's about this time where I'm like, I'm fully on the fuck 343 train. Like, I gave you motherfuckers your chance. Like, and I rode that game's dick for a long time, and I got 160 something hours in it off the game that you guys gave me. And if I hopped on there today, it ain't gonna be much different. And that's fucking sad.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Bummer, dude. Bummer, dude.
Big bummer.
Eddie?
In the year 2015, I explored the city of Haran. And that city was amazing. It was almost a take on Old Turkey. You know what I mean? And I got to fucking parkour, and I got to kill zombies.
Drop kick a fucking zombie off
Right
a roof
in his
and watch him fucking fly.
Fucking dome piece, bro. Dying Light was probably the coolest fucking game to come out for me that year. And I enjoyed every single minute of it. Fast forward 7 years to the city of Villador, and I am not having a good fucking time, bro.
The co-op that we played was a little fun.
It was fine.
Yeah.
It was fine.
I totally forgot about it until you just said it.
Like
I really, those memories just popped in my head.
Yeah. Dying Light 2, Stay Human, was my biggest letdown of 2022.
Stay unreleased.
Right. Yeah. Fuck. I think if this game had come out maybe 2 years ago, maybe 2020, 2019, I would have forgiven all the bullshit that went with this game. I mean, it was choppy. Some trophies didn't work.
Still don't.
Still don't?
Still don't.
Fuck my life. What are you doing with yourselves?
I want to return. I do so bad, but I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Without, like, dude, I have it on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Without the fucking trophies. Like,
Yeah.
The point.
Yeah, at this point, like, honestly, I tried returning to it and just gave up. I mean, not only is everything horrible the way that it's playing right now, I just feel like the sequel took too long to come out.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the same thing with Dead Island 2.
Yeah.
No one's going to fucking care.
No.
That game looks miles better than it has ever looked, and I still don't see any hype for that game at all. It's DOA.
Oh, absolutely.
In my opinion.
Yeah, it's fucking dead in the water.
It's the same thing with Dying Light 2. Even though it looked so good, it's just like it's gone. Like
The cutscenes felt like they would drag on. I couldn't stay interested. All of the characters were painstakingly one note.
I don't fucking remember a single.
Sorry.
Neither do I. And fucking this Aiden dude was pretty much just Crane in another suit. Like,
It really. Yeah, I mean that's Nail. You got it.
fucking, like it. If you were just gonna make the same game over again, fucking release it sooner and just fucking call it what it was. You know what I mean? Or just continue Crane's story. Like, what in like.
They couldn't afford Troy Baker again.
Fucking, like, it was so, like, the first Dying Light was such a unique, and and especially around 2015, where zombie games were popping.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Dying Light was able to stand out on its own.
The way I looked at Dying Light was what Dead Island should have been.
No, absolutely. I just had that thought in my head.
I played Dead Island, and then I played Dead Island Riptide, and Dead Island Riptide was just a fucking copy paste of Dead Island.
Absolutely. No, and let me tell you, I agree with you. Well, I agree with you. I fucking rode Dead Island's dick fucking harder than I've ever seen on porn. Like, I'm just like I loved these games. I loved Dying Light, and Dying Light 2 was a very special thing for me. Like, I was very excited, and for it to have been the letdown that it was very disappointing, and it hurts my heart a lot.
Man, thinking about summer of 2015 when that game came out,
Yeah.
there's a heavy amount of nostalgia. We had just barely moved into that horrific place that we stayed at.
That little house over there.
House, and I just remember that was a good, like, I was broke as shit and I couldn't afford games, like, so I would just buy one game.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I bought Dying Light.
Yeah.
That was like one of the games where I was like $60 easy. Looks fucking great.
yeah.
And it
Same,
was like I didn't have any other games, so I played the fucking shit out of that game.
same, dude. Like, I still have. Like, it comes up on my memories, just like some PlayStation share shit that I would do of me, like, taking out this entire shambling horde of zombies
Yeah.
and just like doing shit that I thought I was a stud for pulling off, bro.
It's so sad, dude. Because you look back at those now and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I
You're
thought
like,
this
why
was,
did I save
I thought this was cool.
Yeah, I was just like, man,
Nobody thinks it's cool.
yeah, dude,
This
like,
game
I thought I
fucks.
was, I thought I was big dick swinging with those fucking videos, bro. And no, those get. I mean, like, the nostalgia comes to me, and I like my feeling of accomplishment. But I look at it and I'm like, yo, I really shared this with a friends list of my peers.
That's why Sony got rid of the share play with Facebook, was because they were like, oh man, people are just sharing like cringy ass clips of them thinking that they're doing cool stuff.
Remember Share Factory?
Oh god.
That's still a thing.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Dude, I remember making this dope ass Black Ops 2 fucking
Your song
mod
behind it.
with my
Dude,
son.
that shit was so rad. Not gonna even fucking lie to you, dude. I'm not gonna gas you up. That shit was sick as fuck.
Hell yeah.
Bro, you were living the dream, dog.
I was.
You had a knife compilation from Black Ops 3.
Yeah, a fucking tomahawk
With your
combo.
own song as the background.
Yeah.
Shit was hard as fuck, bro. Hard.
Oh my god. My old fucking gamer tag, Vocal85, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Fuck. But yeah, biggest letdown. Dying Light 2 Stay Human. Nick?
I had a couple that I had on my list here that the first one that I had was me finding out that the Callisto still runs like shit on PC.
Yeah. Well,
I'm going to give that the benefit
welcome.
of the doubt because I'm going to play it on PlayStation here in a little bit. Then I thought, okay, this Saints Row game is kind of whack. And then I kept playing it and I was like, no, you know what, dude? I'm actually having a great time playing this game. Like the more you play it, the more you get into it. When you start building your base, it's great.
I'll tell you what. If I can get that game for $5 on PC, I'll do it.
I got it
really
for
will.
15.
There is something about that game where I'm like, it just looks like stupid fun.
That's
like,
exactly what it is.
and that's what the fucking Saints Row games have always been
Yeah.
about.
And I was worried. I'm like, oh, this doesn't have any of like the. It tries too hard with the old Saints Row charm. And then like once I got into the game, I'm like, okay, I gotta do this. Like there's missions, there's side hustles that you do for this lady where you go to a business and you leave a low review, and the lower review, the more people show up to try and kill you because you're leaving a bad review. Like,
I love that.
once I started doing
That's
that,
Saints
I'm
Row.
like, okay, yeah, this is actually all right.
That's Saints
That's
Row
one
to
of the
me.
better things that I've heard about it. Like, it seems like there's a little bit of blue hairism in the writing room with with the Saints Row. I mean, they didn't like. The shit like the auto shop in the old games used to be called rim jobs.
Right,
that was
right.
really funny. Now it's called Jim Robs.
Yeah.
Like, and it's like a story, like it's a play on words to talk about the shitty owner that's a shithead capitalist. And it's like, okay, like rim jobs was very easily way funnier,
Right.
and you did not need to change that. That's why I'm like, it just feels like it's like, let's make and like the dialogue. If I play this fucking game, I am not watching a single second of fucking cutscene. You will not fucking one, dude.
There's this one mission that I'm on right now where the fast food restaurants are releasing a limited edition mecha burger. Like a burger that transforms into a robot.
Yeah.
One of your guys is like, I never got this growing up as a kid. So he's like, well, let's go get you that fucking mecha burger. And you show up and like there's a long line, and then you go and the lady's like, yeah, some pink people just came in and took every single shipment. So like you have to chase them down to get it. Like it's just stupid missions like that I'm like, okay, this is actually like growing on me pretty quick.
Yeah, dialogue, that little slider all the way down. Hell yeah.
It's not as bad as it's not bad. Like
I'm not gonna listen to fucking 30 hours of student debt jokes.
I wouldn't have paid $60 for it, but I'm very satisfied that I paid $15 for it.
Yeah, that I could see that. That's a good price.
But my actual like big letdown goes to the game Scorn. There was a lot of hype around that game.
The H.R. Geiger inspired,
especially from a lot of big names, you know, like Moist Critical and Germa. Like watching Germa play this game is the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. Like he's easily becoming one of my favorites. Like he'll just be playing through the game and just randomly he'll just be like Scorn, like just. And then there's this scene where you like have to do something with a fetus, and in his VOD on YouTube, it's just playing the do like the Austin Powers theme while he's doing it, and it's so fucking funny. But that game was just boring and bland and just had like nothing to it. Like I was very disappointed in that game.
So you need like a group of people or like an audience to make it fun.
Yeah, which I don't have a lot of. So
The moment that I saw that there was no field of view slider was like, yeah, I'm okay.
yeah,
I'm good.
I don't need this
I'm
game.
good.
It's too slow. Like, and if you can compensate for the slow gameplay if you have that field of view, but like it like truncates you into this tiny little field, and I'm like, yeah, I'm okay.
yeah.
I'm okay. Maybe if it's like less than $10, but you know,
Like I was kind of expecting like not necessarily like Doom level like rip and tear, but I was
Yeah.
expecting like fighting like weird fucking demons, and it's just
no,
like
this is a good choice, dude. There
it's
was
like,
a
oh
lot
no,
of
hey,
hype.
go here and put your weird fucking tendrils in this and open this door and then go up here and get this weird gun. I don't know.
No, this is a good choice, dude. There was a lot of hype, and myself
Lot of hype.
included.
Yeah.
I was Scorn's been on my radar for a long time.
Right. Well, with that, we come to our final award.
I wonder what it's gonna be.
Well, I'll tell you, Nick. I'll tell you what it's going to be. Game of the year.
Gaudy.
This is our pick for what we feel was the best game of 2022. And thank you guys for listening so far. Angela?
So I got a lot of gameplay and technique and patience when I played Elden Ring. It was for the most part a completely new genre to me. However, in January of 2022, Pokemon Legends Arceus came out, and they changed up quite a bit of the formula of those games, one of which was Souls style boss battles, which led me to feel, oh, I could play a Souls game.
Right.
So because of that, my game of the year is Pokemon Legends Arceus, because I got a lot of gameplay out of it. It was a completely new formula. It has a really amazing story. It adds a lot to the world of Pokemon as a whole. And I want to see so many more Legends games. I think that they like really knocked it out of the park with that one.
Fuck yeah.
Agreed.
So yeah, that's
Very
my game
cool.
of the year.
Great pick.
Very good.
I think Arceus was my number 6. It's the first.
Well, it was my number one.
It's just the first time that a Pokemon game has been on my game of the year list in a long fucking time. But my game of the year is Signalis.
Yeah. Very nice.
I had this big long speech that I wanted to give about it, and I've already spent way too much time talking. So I'll keep it brief. But Signalis is just a work of fucking art, and I was so disappointed. I grow less and less enchanted with AAA games and like this like it's a big reason why I can't really play God of War right now, is because I know exactly what that is, and I don't really want to experience that right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
like,
get it.
It's incredibly first world problem-y, but like it's just like it's all the same too, and you can only play a variation of The Last of Us so many times where,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Right.
And,
No, I get it.
And that's really downplays like the achievement of God of War, because they are completely different games. But like I just that narrative style, like that super heavy narrative style that's like that bleeds into everything, and there's dialogue constantly. Mimir's on your back telling you about this and about that, and you know it's just it's a lot.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Signalis doesn't do that at all. It doesn't really It's a mystery through and through. Like, it's a horror game, so there's not really. Yeah, I mean, I kind of have a vague idea of the story in my head, but it doesn't really. A lot of dialogue flashes across the screen really fast, but even if you could read it, it's in German, so it's very artsy fartsy. Like
Right.
it seems pretty. It's got 2 lesbian androids in it.
Nice.
Nice.
Just to speak of like the uniqueness, the versatility of it.
Nice.
It's a fucking really great nod to like classic horror games like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2. Silent Hill is all over this game, specifically Silent Hill 2. I love its theming. It themes around like Thanatos, the Angel of Death and stuff. Like it's
Cool.
just, it gets very, very philosophical, and
Very cool.
you'll hear me talk about this game a lot too, because it gave me hope of like, I'm falling out of like the big games, but like I still have this. I talked about it before. Like I still have this safety net of like there are people doing a whole bunch of really cool shit,
Right.
and it's just a matter of like finding what you think. Also, runner up was Vampire Survivors.
Hell yeah.
God damn. And we'll talk about that later because it's still getting DLC, which is crazy, and it's like $2 DLC.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Eddie, what's your game of the year?
Stray.
Nice.
We love to see it.
Meow.
Meow. Yes, bitch. Meow.
As someone who enjoys the occasional indie game, but is very more tethered to AAA titles and big games, this game caught me by such a wonderful surprise. This game, everything about it, from front to back, top to bottom, is whimsical, beautiful, heart-wrenching, enjoyable, funny. I mean, it has the entire package of what I look for when I game. You know what I mean? I want to run a gamut of emotions. I want to be frustrated with what the protagonist is going through, and for the protagonist to have been a cat.
Silent.
Not saying anything, and for me to care about it to that point. And it didn't help that it was colored like my Nuka boy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This game is very special in terms of coming out of nowhere and stealing my heart. So yeah, Stray is my game of the year.
Fuck yeah. Good pick.
Nick?
All right. There aren't a lot of games that come out that I decide to buy twice. One on PlayStation, one on PC. Recent exceptions have been Resident Evil Village. I bought that on PC because it was like $30. And I just wanted to see how it looked, and it looks fantastic. And I thought this game was going to clean sweep, but my game of the year is shockingly going to Elden Ring.
Very nice. Very good.
This game, I had always struggled with Souls games before. I've dabbled in the Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 games. I've never finished any of them. I finished Sekiro, but it took me like a good like months to finish that game.
Yeah.
Bless you.
Elden Ring was just instantly had its hooks sunk into me. The reason I chose this game because this would lead into a runner-up for my gaming pop-off moment, but this was the first Souls game that I got the platinum on.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Very nice.
385 hours, I think, of
Holy
this game.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it you finish the game. I admit to doing the save scum to get the endings. I did not want to play this game for
We all
900
did.
hours.
We all
do
did.
that again, but
Well, but like and you know, I got the platinum as well, but one thing that's, and this is the biggest reason why I didn't choose it to be my game of the year, was that I don't want a sequel. Like, I don't want more. I mean, like, I would like another game that's like this game,
The
for
Right.
sure,
next one.
but I don't need like an
Elden Ring,
expansion
yeah.
of this world. You know, this world is huge. It had so much to unpack that I still am learning about, you know, but like all of the different builds, I think, is like where it's at though, because you can play it differently so many times.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly like what drew me in, is like, okay, I'm gonna start off as this guy, and then I'm gonna, you know, just try another guy. You know, you get to the point where you get the horse, and then you're like, okay, let me, you know, try out another character, another build. And yeah, it was one of the first Souls games that I finished, platinumed, and actually like took the time, because like in like Bloodborne, like I finished Bloodborne, but that took me a while too. But like when I, you know, get stuck on a boss, I'd just be like, fuck this game, dude. Why do people fucking enjoy these games? This is fucking stupid. You know, like that was how I was for like the longest time. Like I remember Redboxing. This is a very old sentence. I remember renting Dark Souls 3 from Redbox,
Nice.
and I took it back 2 hours later because I was like, what is this fucking game? Like,
Yeah, so that I actually have a really similar story with Dark Souls. It was 3, I think.
Yeah, it was 3.
Yeah,
and Dark Souls 3 is like, out of all of them, that's the most like hand-holdy game
right.
too.
So yeah, I had made my character for like 2 hours just to be one shot, and I shelved that shit so fast.
That moment when you
Gundyr really
when you
showed
first
you shits what for.
when you first start up the first Dark Souls, I think, and you get to that troll, and he just fucking smashes you, and you're just like, I have to fight this guy. And then it's like, oh wait,
Yeah.
if I run up these stairs, I can get on top of him, and I can do this, you know. But yeah, like Elden Ring kind of brought me a little bit more into like the Souls games. Like I've been on and off trying to finish up the Demon Souls remake.
I gotta return to that too.
Yeah, so that's my game of the year for those reasons, because it was great. First Souls game I finished and platinumed.
Great pick.
And just, yeah, we have talked about this game ad nauseum tonight, so it's no wonder.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, we thank you for joining us at our awards ceremony. We hope you enjoyed it. As always, you can follow us on social media. On Facebook at the Nerd Corporation, a podcast.
On Twitter and Instagram at Nerdcorp Podcast.
Or you can shoot us an email at nerdcorppodcast@gmail.com.
And if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Search the Nerd Corporation and look out for our green Nerd Corp logo.
If you love us and want to support what we do, consider subscribing on Patreon. Patreon.com/NerdCorp Podcast. Several tiers of loot to have access to, from stickers and shirts to extra content and bonus episodes. We'd love to thank our Nerd Corporate backers, Glenn the Simp, Fillmore McLaurin, and Jake Hurst, and our nerd financial investors, Kim Nichols and Dallin Gilbert.
Thank you, Jake. Thank you, Fillmore. Thank you, Dallin. Thank you, Mom.
Port.
If you can't make a monthly contribution, consider supporting us on PayPal, paypal.me/NerdCorp Podcast. We want to have the best loot, give you the best giveaways, and give you the best nerdy experience, and that is the best way to do that. So, from all of us here at the Nerd Corporation, we thank you. We love you. Keep it nerdy, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, Elden Ring!
Beer, please,